think we are recording. Thank you all for joining us for a meeting of Vermont's Environmental Justice Advisory Council and Interagency Committee. Next slide, please. And welcome everyone. Welcome community members, if there are any that are here. Let's go to the next slide. Let's read these community agreements to ourselves and then give us a thumbs up when you're ready to proceed. Excellent. I think we're ready to move on. Okay, so here is our agenda today. If we do have quorum, we will approve the agenda and minutes from our last meeting and then approve this agenda. We have an icebreaker to start us off. And the question is going to be, how do you take care of yourself when you are feeling overwhelmed? And that's in response to our last meeting. Folks were sharing how they felt. And so I thought just for that collective care, it could be cool for us to share what we do to feel less overwhelmed. After that, we'll give you a preview of next year's deliverables, really high level, but a great way to end the year. And then we'll follow that up with a discussion where you all can reflect back to us and let us know if there are any specific deliverables that maybe you're concerned with, or maybe see some potential barriers. And then we'll talk about solution building around them. We'll do public comment and a break. And then later on, we'll do another discussion to focus on collaboration between the Advisory Council and the Interagency Committee. We didn't get to have that conversation last week, and we think it's really important. So we'll revisit that today. We'll do a debrief and then end with a couple of really simple next steps. I don't think we're at quorum, so we can continue. Juliet? Okay, cool. All right. So here's our icebreaker. We're going to use the circle process, again, also to respond to some of the feedback and suggestions that the Advisory Council shared last meeting. And so the circle process is when you essentially, everyone has an order of when you speak, and we go around in a circle. So let's say we start with me, it'll go to the next person, so on and so forth. And if you don't want to respond or need more time to process before you respond, we'll skip you and then come back later. And then another way that we can, I'm just going to put the order in the chat. We'll start with the Advisory Council first. And technically, we did it in alphabetical order. So technically we'd start with Brittany, but we don't want to put anyone on the spot. So if there's an Advisory Council member that wants to go first, then we'll go around the circle from your name, if that makes sense. Cool.
I'd be happy to go first.
Thanks, Rich.
Sure. I think I did last time as well. Let's see. I guess I would start by saying that I feel overwhelmed often. I think we probably share that characteristic. My reasons might be different than yours, but some of them might be the same. My go-to for that is to go check in with my relatives that are other than human. they speak a different language and they tell us different things. So I also check in with my community, my friends, neighbors. But it's a little harder this time of year to go see the other ones, but it's still worthwhile. I recommend it. Thank you.
Thanks, Rich. So next up would be Sean, and he's not here. Next up would be Trey, and he had a last minute conflict. Next up would be Victor. He's not on. Walter's not on. Susanna's not on. Let me double check. All right. And Brittany's not on. Jennifer's not on. Mariana.
Last and second and last. Hello everyone. Thank you for sharing that, Rach. I feel similarly. What I do when I'm overwhelmed is I stop. I stop everything. Whatever it is that I'm doing or what is coming, and I said, enough. I gotta reassess. So I take a pause, and that could look very differently, depending what is it that I identify as the overwhelming situation or trigger. So sometimes it's funny because I am overwhelmed by something at work, and whereas the recommendation is to go for a walk or do a meditation or breathe, I'm like, no, I have to finish this, and then it will feel better. So I guess my technique is just identify what is it, like sit down for a pause to sit down and to identify what is really bugging me, and try to take care of that if possible. And then when I'm done with that, I almost like feel like, okay, I'm ready to decompress of that moment of finishing or tackling whatever it was. And then I do go take a walk in nature or do a meditation or a yoga class or walk with a friend or chat with my mom, something that makes me feel happy, whatever that is that comes to me in the moment. So I guess my technique is just pause and reassess, and then go with the flow. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
I'm not sure who to pass it next because I guess I was the last one of the advisory council.
Yes, so Abby would be next, and I don't think she's coming today. Let me just, yep. So we can go to Amy.
Thank you for this question. I can get like a busy mind. And so some of the things that I try to do, both when I feel overwhelmed and also as just like daily practice and ritual, is to do meditation, yoga. Definitely being in the wild is so important and grounding. And Carly, you might want to plug your ears for this, but recently I've been doing like cold water plunges, and I said I would never, ever, ever, ever do it. But I'm going to tell you, I can go in one place in my mind and body and come out, and it's with friends and it's in the wild and it's in these beautiful spots. So anyways, I know that sounds, even listening to me say it, I'm like, really? Do you do it? Anyways, so that's something I've been doing recently with friends. Oh, Claire. Okay. Thank you for listening. I think Bob is next.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. I guess I don't have any one particular method of doing it because I think it depends, kind of like what Mariana was saying. What is the individual stressor? You know, is it something work related? Is it something relationship related? Is it something personally that I'm dealing with? Or is it the car broke down and you're late for work and you got to get it fixed? So I think the level of stress changes depending on what the nature of the problem is. And I think I don't have any particular strategy on how to deal with it. I think I just deal with it. So, Okay, you're stressing my alphabetical ordering here. Does that mean Claire is next?
Think so. Many things that have been said resonate with me. I particularly currently I find a lot of grounding in being outside with my dogs. I think both for like the outside being with non-human friends, but also I find being with my dogs makes me like really be in the present. Especially if I'm playing with them. I feel like we don't play very often as adults. It has a way of like shaking me out of whatever's in my head. And then I'll just say the other one that maybe is a little weird, but maybe not, is sometimes I clean. I think there's something for like putting other things back in order that helps me decompress. So like I was working on my environmental benefit spending report in the office on Monday, and I did a lot of cleaning of my office, which was productive in a different kind of way. So those are two things that come to the top for me. And I think Dave is not here, so Elizabeth be next.
Okay. See, I feel overwhelmed on the daily. Could all of you give me more time to do self-care? That'd be helpful. Just create more hours in the day. To state something that hasn't already been stated, I think doing activities that bring about a feeling of wonder, whether that's doing something outside or in community or with my kids or something like that, that kind of takes me out of myself and resets whatever brain pathways I've got going that are making me feel overwhelmed. So activities that impart wonder. Next is Jenny. Yeah, there's Jenny.
I think Jenny may be taking a call really quick, so we could circle back to her when she's able to jump back on. I feel like in that case, Carla would be next.
Hello, folks. Carla, Agency of Natural Resources. I think most of you, if not all of you, know that I like to meditate. So when I am feeling overwhelmed, I prefer quiet, closing my eyes, and just letting thoughts go through me. Sometimes it takes more time than other times, depending on how overwhelmed I am and how long it's been since I've intentionally grounded myself. And equally as helpful is the woods. I love being in the woods, even when it's really cold, even at night. I do sometimes night hikes. I've done night hikes in winter with my dog with a headlamp, and I love to have those moments. And they really help me contextualize, which is ultimately what those two processes help me with. Contextualize the overwhelm.
Let's see who's next up.
Is it me? It might be me.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm chuckling because the first thing that came to mind is actually something that Claire taught me, which is that if I'm feeling very overwhelmed, and this will change now that I'm spending more time in the office or get more interesting, is to lie on the floor, which hopefully my roommates will be comfortable with in our shared office space. It's just me today. Yeah, there's just something about like the multiple points of contact and the feeling of gravity, that is like very helpful for me. I think also as someone who grew up drinking black tea with milk and sugar, a de facto is like, I'm gonna make a cup of tea and everything will be fine on the other side of that. And I think too, and maybe this is, I appreciate there's multiple sides to like being overwhelmed and remaining in your head, my head. But trying to be really curious and like bring like curiosity to like what's going on, which I find can often help me either do some more reflection or figure out who or what it is that I want to reach out to work through something. I think after me is Stephanie.
I think I'm next. Yep. Hi everyone, this is great. A lot of this is resonating with me. I have two quick things I'll say. One is, for me, I tend to operate in a higher level of stress than is probably reasonable, but I find that creativity is a really good inverse to that. So doing some sort of craft project or something that's using this creative side of my brain tends to shut off the stress response side, especially if it's with my 6-year-old, who is very good at living every moment in the moment and helps me stay there too if I'm focusing on him, and especially doing something creative with him. And then the other one, especially this time of year, is getting outside. So we're going for a walk, or right now I've been looking out my window all day, being stuck in a million different things, really wanting to go cross-country skiing behind the building that I'm in. So after this meeting, I'm gonna go outside and cross-country ski, and that'll be a good reset too. So getting out, especially when it's cold.
Awesome. Did we cover everyone?
I think if
Yeah,
Jenny is back on the call, then she's welcome to share, but she may still be taking her other call.
Okay, let's give her a sec. If not, Juliet, would you like to go? Or I guess technically I would go. No, wait, you would go. You would think I would know the alphabet really well because I have a 2-year-old and we say the alphabet all of the time. But Juliet, go ahead.
If you want to go first, you're welcome to also, alphabet or not.
Okay, I will say that yeah, I do a combination of pretty much almost everything you all discussed, but probably the most effective thing that I do is lay outside, like not even in a hammock, but just directly on the ground, or on a blanket. And I'll do that even in the winter as well. With a sleeping bag, of course. I'm not doing plunges in the snow. Props to you all who do that. Juliet, go ahead.
Yeah, I like everything that was shared. I think that there are really good ways for mitigating overwhelm in sort of like, I guess, long-term ways, like long-term practices. Something that I find